This girl's in 8th grade. She's tiny, pretty short. Like, she barely comes up to anybody's shoulders. Well, her dad is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher, and he taught her jiu-jitsu when she was very young. I want you to be able to defend yourself, sweetie, only if you need to. And she was really good at it. She had these skills, but she never had to use it until one day. This senior dude won't leave her alone. Hey, what's up? So, what are you doing? Hey, what's happening? Get away from me. He's getting in her face. The teachers see this, but they don't do anything. He then grabs her arm really hard. Hey, get back here. And that's when it ends. One clean move. And this kid's on the floor, knocked out. The hallway is dead silent now. Everyone's watching. Well, here's the wild part. That kid goes home that night, and this kid's parents lose it. They demand a meeting. They say that their son was attacked. They want the girl expelled. And the school sides with them until her dad stands up. My daughter isn't going anywhere. I was walking around earlier. I see cameras in every single hallway. Why don't we run it back to see what really happened? And if you still think my daughter should be expelled, I'm gonna sue this entire school and him for assault. And this dad was intense. They believed him. Then it switched. This girl was not getting expelled. Instead, the guy does. Good on her for sticking up for herself, and good on the dad for being awesome. What happens when the school bully becomes the hero? I'll tell you. This happened at a middle school in Ohio. There was this one kid named Steven, and he was getting bullied every single day by the same group of seniors. He was being shoved into lockers. His lunch tray was getting knocked over. The usual stuff. I hate my life. Well, here's the thing. There was another bully at school. The biggest bully. This dude named Jake, and everyone was terrified of him. Well, I guess he'd been watching what had been happening to Steven. I just kept seeing it happen every day. One day, something snapped. He sees them bullying Steven, so he walks right up and says, "Hey, look at me. You touch him again, you're gonna deal with me, okay?" The bullies immediately stop. Oh, hey, Jake, yeah, no, whatever, man. We're just messing around, no big deal, we'll stop. And just like that, they stopped messing with Steven. But Jake doesn't stop there because Steven was a new kid at school. He didn't want people messing with him for some reason. So Jake starts walking Steven to class every day, sits by him at lunch, basically becomes his bodyguard. You didn't have to do that, man. Yeah, it did. Teachers are freaking out because they don't know what to do. The biggest bully in school is now protecting the most vulnerable kid in school. Well, here's the thing. Jake got suspended for 1 week because another kid was messing with Steven and he pushed him into the wall. The school didn't care that he was sticking up for somebody, but he didn't complain. And when the suspension was over, he kept being buddies with Steven. And that is awesome. There was a kid at school named Max, and they called Max the raccoon. Yo, what's up? Because Max could find furniture anywhere. Didn't matter what it was. Gaming chairs, mini fridges, lamps, half a trampoline one time. And whenever someone asked where he got it, he would always say, the curb, or garbage can behind Jewel. Now behind the school was this tiny little forest area that students were technically banned from going into, which obviously made kids want to go in there more. But one day, Max decides, I'm gonna build a hangout in the woods. So at first, he drags out 2 lawn chairs and a milk crate. Then the next week, there's a couch and a rug. Then somehow, a standing lamp connected to a generator. Every day after school, this dude is dragging more and more furniture out to this hangout spot, and it's looking awesome. And kids began to hang out there every day. Portable speakers, Uno games, snacks, the mini fridge. By springtime, there was multiple couches, Christmas lights. It was a complete vibe. People would literally say, hey, you going to Max's place later? And by that, they meant the woods. Teachers had no idea this existed until one day a janitor went back there and discovered what looked like a fully furnished living room hidden behind the school in a patch of trees. He gets the principal walks back there. What is... Oh my god. He had everything removed. But he did say, that's impressive. And it was impressive. Hey Johnny, come to the bonfire next week. Awesome. Johnny was invited to one of the popular kids' bonfires, and this was a big moment for him. He was hyped. He decided he wanted to be the bonfire guitar guy. You know, the guy that would sit by the fire and play songs and everyone tells him how cool he is. So he buys a guitar with money from his first job. He spends that entire week practicing. Okay. Huh. Not too bad. They're gonna love this. Fingers shredding, watching tutorials. He's pretty decent. Kind of a natural. And finally, it's the big bonfire night. Like 20 kids there. They're all sitting around. Johnny brought his guitar. He sees his opportunity. Hey, you guys mind if I play a song for you? All right, man. Yeah, go for it. Okay, Johnny. Yeah, play us a song. So he starts playing, and he's actually killing it. Whoa, he's pretty good. Yeah, he is. People are impressed. But then he gets a little too confident. Starts going a little crazier. Fully dramatic rock star mode when all of a sudden, snap! One of the strings breaks and flies up and whips him right in the eye. And in a pure moment of panic, he just throws the guitar off him. Everyone goes silent. Johnny gets his composure. He realizes there's way too many people here for him to be freaking out. He's gonna look like a loser. But when he opens his eyes, he realizes he threw his guitar into the bonfire. And now the guitar is burning like firewood. No one said a word for about 30 minutes. They just sat around that fire warming themselves up with Johnny's guitar he bought to impress everybody. He never lived that down, and he wasted $200 on that guitar. That's nuts. When he was 7, he did something so dumb. It was a public swimming pool. Family locker room, wet floors, benches everywhere. This kid's in there and he notices something sitting under a bench. What is it? It's a thumbtack, just sitting there. Nobody was around, nobody was paying attention. Instead of picking this up and throwing it away, he takes it and places it pointy side up right in the middle of the floor. Then he goes away. About 30 minutes pass. Families keep moving in and out of the locker, bare feet, and he starts to think to himself, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe somebody could get hurt. So he goes back in, but he's way too late. Oh no. Oh, Mom, I'm bleeding. A kid had stepped right on it, and his foot was bleeding. Oh my God, what a horrible person would do something like this. The kid never said a word. He just stood there, panicking internally. You'll be okay, son. Whoever did this is a complete and utter idiot. I mean, yeah, that's pretty messed up. Every school had a dead zone. A room in the basement or a locked corner of the gym where chairs and desks go to die. Most people see a pile of trash, but to Mr. Henderson, it was a gold mine. The school budget for furniture was pretty much zero. If a chair leg snapped or the top of a desk cracked, it wasn't getting replaced. So for a decade, the chair graveyard grew. They see a mess, but I see a spare heart for the chair in room 203. Mr. Henderson didn't just guard the room. He was pretty much a furniture surgeon. He had a specific system. When one chair broke, he knew which piece to grab from the graveyard. He was swapping around parts like he was Frankenstein. See, this one can be saved, but this one's too far gone. Except that leg is looking pretty nice. I'll take this and I'll put it here. It's fixed. Well, the legend started when a group of 10th graders tried to steal a few chairs. So they go into this graveyard. Quick, grab one. So they tried to grab a few chairs, but this is when it happened. They pulled out one chair and the entire mountain collapsed right onto them. And Mr. Henderson was in the corner of the room watching. Well, boys. Trying to steal my stash? He obviously helped them up and gave them a few band-aids for their scrapes. And the punishment for breaking into the room and trying to steal the chairs, they had to reorganize it and stack everything back up perfectly. You gotta love Mr. Henderson. All right, boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard, big smile, and she says, "Okay, boys, time to log your sins for the day." This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the two kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him, because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session, and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all? I am right now. What? Nothing. They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. Oh my gosh, we made our first $2. No, we actually made $1. We gotta pay the security guard. Here. In some neighborhoods, kids run lemonade stands. You know, cute little summer businesses, 50 cents a cup, smiles all around. Not on this block, though. On this block, you needed protection. Every Saturday in this one neighborhood cul-de-sac area, these kids would all set up their lemonade stands. Some were different. Some had like strawberry lemonade, others had regular lemonade, some was selling like fruit punch. You know, it was a nice little thing that the neighborhood kids were doing. Anyway, they'd be all set up and they're good to go. But then here comes this 8th grader. Bike gloves on, backpack over one shoulder. He pulls up to the first stand. Nice stand he got here. Good traffic spot, nice weather today. Would be a shame if someone knocked it over. The little girl selling lemonade just blinks. She's almost gonna cry. But then her friend says, just give him one of our dollars. Hey, it's just a protection fee, okay? Covers you for the whole day. Accidents happen, you know. Have a good one. And he goes to the next one. You guys paying for protection today? You know, kids are scrambling. They're digging in their shoebox of change. Hands over $1. He nods. Pleasure doing business with you. And just like that, he's off to the next lemonade stand. Kid made $12 in fees that Saturday alone. Now, this guy wouldn't just take the money and leave. And although he came off kind of tough and mean, he actually would stay there all day and watch over these lemonade stands. So I guess they actually were paying for protection. Now, it was a pretty nice neighborhood, so nothing ever actually happened. But, hey, you know, you gotta respect the hustle, I guess. Yo, I think the cap fell off the milk. Oh, we always keep it like that. It's so the milk can breathe. I'm not drinking that. It was this dude's first time visiting his friend's house, and everything seemed normal for like 5 seconds, you know. He walks into the kitchen and he notices that there are no lids on anything. No cap on the milk, no lid on the orange juice. Peanut butter jar open, the soap bottle open. Hey, you guys forgot to put the lids back on, everything. Nah, bro, my mom says lids trap bad energy. Everything's gotta breathe. Even the milk. Especially the milk. He watches in horror as his friend pours himself a glass of milk from the open jug. He sits down for dinner, and he notices this kid's mom is bringing over a jar of spaghetti that's been sitting out on the stove all day without a lid. And earlier in the day, he saw flies around it. She notices this kid's uncomfort. Oh, don't worry, sweetie. This is all still good. It just had to breathe all day. At one point, he looks over to the kitchen counter and he sees the dog licking the butter that's sitting on the open butter tray. You know what? And nobody's saying a word about it. Throughout the entire meal, he's pushing his food around, pretending that he's eating it. But he's not gonna touch this stuff. And everybody else is chowing down like it's a Thanksgiving meal. After that, he always gave an excuse whenever he was invited back to that house. Oh, sorry, my mom said I can't, leave the house on Tuesdays. Because to him, one visit to the no-lid house was enough for a lifetime. Yeah. I agree. Good morning, this is Channel 3 School News with your top story. At approximately 9:08 a.m. yesterday, a 6th grade student constructed a fully functional toll booth in the main hallway, using nothing but masking tape, a clipboard, and what seemed to be a strong sense of purpose. Eyewitnesses state the student was wearing sunglasses and would stand there with his hand out, calmly stating, "That's $1 to pass, exact change only." Over the next 12 minutes, multiple students complied. One teacher walked through without paying, and she was booed. It's just, you know, what makes you so special? We're all paying the toll, so should you. So we booed her. By 9:20 a.m., this student had collected $28 in singles and exact change. He offered receipts, he stamped hands. He told students premium passes were coming soon. When asked why he was doing this was his reply. It's a good idea, right? I just came up with it, and I thought there's no way I'm going to get away with this. But I did. As the morning went on, the hallway bottlenecked. The late bell rang. Chaos was beginning to ensue. By 9:26 a.m., administration intervened. The toll booth was dismantled. The tape was peeled and the clipboard was seized. When asked if he had any other things planned in the near future, he responded, "Oh, just you wait." And back to you. So this one dude in this one class was huge. Tall, wide, and the way he would eat food was an operation. I know what I like. He would show up to class with a full row of cookies, 20-something, and he would stack them perfectly on one side of his desk. Then the system began. He would take one bite from the top cookie and put it to the right side of his desk. The next cookie, one bite, then on top of the cookie that's on the right side of his desk. Then the next, down the entire row. Each cookie with exactly one bite out of it, stacked on top of each other. When the whole tower has migrated to the right side, he didn't stop. He would just restart the cycle. A new bite off the top cookie moved to the left side of the desk. then the other one, a new bite, then stacked on top of the cookie on the left side of the desk. Do you get what I'm saying here? Cookie, bite, stack, and he keeps restarting this process. Well, 15 minutes of rhythmic biting and stacking later, the entire tower of cookies was just gone. Desk wiped clean, 0 crumbs, like it never happened in the first place. And obviously, everyone in class saw him do this, but it was so strange and so weird that nobody ever said anything to him. That's nuts. Water's a reward. You don't just get it because you're thirsty. This house is a desert. At this house, water wasn't a right. It was a privilege. Every day after school, this kid had the same rule. No exceptions. Drop your backpack, sit at the table, and do your homework. No TV, no snacks, no water. His mom would say it every day. Water is a reward, not a right. Well, one day he gets home, absolutely dying of thirst. He makes a quiet move towards the kitchen. He almost reaches the faucet. Don't even think about it. She's already standing there, arms crossed. Homework first. So he's at the kitchen table, math textbook open, mouth dry as sandpaper, watching the faucet drip. 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 He finishes his homework. He gives it to her. Messy work. Do it again. Bro almost passed out right there. When he finally earned a glass of water, she handed it to him like a prize at a carnival. Here's your water. You did really good. The next day at school, he took extra water fountain breaks because he never knew how his mom would act when he got home from school. Yo, what is that? Oh, that just happens sometimes. Don't worry about it. Okay. This kid's standing in the lunch line. Bored, hungry, then he sees it. Something's moving by the nachos. It's tiny, it's hard to see, but something is definitely moving by the nachos. He squints and looks a little closer. Tiny legs, tiny wings, bugs everywhere. But it's just right at the cracks. Like he noticed it, but other people might not have. He pulls out his phone and zooms in. Oh, it's worse than he thought. The next station, the pizza station, same thing. He's zooming in the cracks and there's just bugs crawling around everywhere. He shows the lunch lady. Ma'am, we got a situation here. Oh, that's just the way it is sometimes. Excuse me? He's like, I bet. And he goes to the principal's office. Shows the principal. He looks at the pictures and the principal's acting kind of suspicious now as well. Oh, thanks for letting me know. You can delete those pictures now. We're going to take care of this. Kid's like, you sure, man? Yeah, it's handled. Appreciate it. Go back to class. Delete them. We're good. Kid nods and he walks out, but he did not delete those pictures at all. That night, he posts the pictures online and he tags the school and the health department. By 7 a.m. the next morning, parents are blowing up the school's phones, emails flying, screenshots posted everywhere. It's a mess. At lunch, the cafeteria is like chained off. The health inspector's there. Full-blown investigation. Shortly after that, the principal gets on the loudspeaker. Effective immediately, lunch service is suspended until further notice. And once the health inspector got an even closer look, school had to be shut down for 4 days. Kid's a legend. And to this day, they still call that the Great Cafeteria Shutdown. It's lunch. One group goes to sit down at their normal spot, but another group's already sitting there. This is our table. We've been sitting here all week. Nobody moves. It's a standoff. That's when somebody from one of the groups says, hey guys, why don't we all just share the table? So they all cram into this one table. Awkward small talk at first. Then somebody from group A comments, yo, aren't you that guy that cried during the fire drill? It was one time, dude. The alarm was loud. Group A starts laughing. Well, group B fires back. Well, didn't you fail the easiest history test last semester? At least I didn't pee my pants during prom. Now it's on. Insults are flying. Old drama resurfacing. One kid slaps another guy. A teacher walks over. Hey, what's going on here? Both groups go silent. Nothing, we're just bonding. Yeah, sure you are. The teacher walks away. For the rest of the lunch, they sit there silent. But the next day, they both sat at that table again, and instead of insults, they were actually telling stories and laughing. So, I don't know. I think they all became friends. They had a substitute teacher, and Henry was sitting in the back of the classroom. He was minding his business. And the substitute came in that day strict for no reason. He scanned the classroom and he saw Henry in the back. He sees 2 small devices in Henry's ears. Hey, you, give me those headphones now. Okay. He didn't argue, he just handed over the devices. The substitute then took these, put it in the drawer, and began teaching. About 10 minutes later, he needed a volunteer. Okay, one of you come up here. You know what? How about you? In the back. Henry. No response. Since you wanted to listen to music all class, why don't you come up here and help me? Still nothing. He then lost it and walked straight to Henry. Hi, hello? Why are you ignoring me? Oh, you were talking to me? Yes. I'm sorry, I can't understand you, sir. You made me give you my hearing aids. This dude had confiscated Henry's medical necessity, and boy, did he feel stupid about that. Well, why didn't you tell me? I don't know, you seemed real strict about it. He returned the hearing aids right then and there, but he never returned to that school. Yeah, I wouldn't either. They had just moved into a house in the woods. All right, family, here we are. Go check the place out. We're gonna be so happy here. So they only been there for a few weeks. Every once in a while, some wild turkeys would show up in the yard. 5, maybe 6 of them, and they would just wander around. Nobody thought anything of it. Hey, look, kids, the turkeys are back. Yay! Well, Thanksgiving comes around, and although there are turkeys by the house, this guy doesn't hunt one, he goes to the store and buys one. He cooks the turkey, the table's all set, and now the dining room table is right in front of this giant window. Well, he puts the cooked turkey down, he grabs his carving knife, and he starts to carve this turkey. Okay. Well, as he's deep into the carving, he looks up and out the window. I kid you not, there were 15, maybe 20 wild turkeys lined up, staring directly inside this guy's window as he's carving the turkey he just cooked. What is happening? Honey, I'm hungry. Is food almost ready? Sweetie, look. They're watching us. What? He lowers the knife, takes the turkey, brings it into another room where there are no windows, and he finishes carving it there. And then once this guy moved to a different room, one by one, those turkeys went back into the woods. That is wild. The senior prank was to fork the lawn, which means sticking forks all over the school's lawn. Well, you see, at this one particular school, they used real silverware, and the seniors have been planning it for a long time. All right, guys, we have 3 months. Whenever you get the chance, steal a fork. You got it, Johnny. Brilliant plan, old chap. Every lunch period, they would be taking these forks secretly, and they were doing it slowly so it seemed like a natural disappearance of silverware. By the end of spring, the seniors had hundreds of forks, and no other class knew. Then the night before their last day of school, they came to campus, quiet, and they took all of these forks and they shoved them into the lawn, evenly spread apart. And there were so many forks. By the time they were done, the grass looked like it had grown metal hair. It's beautiful. Rotate that wig off. And the next day, administration went crazy. And the thing was, there was only one custodian left for that school year. This older guy. My name's Mr. Johnny. Hey, Mr. Johnny, can you please pull these forks out of the lawn? I don't want anybody tripping. Oh, okay. And then there he was, down on his hands and knees, pulling these forks out of the grass. Hundreds of them. Bending, sweating, he's working alone. A teacher finally came in to try to help him. Hey, Mr. Johnny, you can... That's when he saw his face. Mr. Johnny was crying. Thank you. That prank then went down in school history, but nobody ever talked about the guy that had to clean it all up. Hey, respect Mr. Johnny. In 4th grade, these 2 kids decided to ruin someone's life. They didn't mean to, though. It started as a joke. They stayed after class one day, laughing, scribbling in notebook paper. JT, I've been in love with you forever. That's good. But they didn't sign their names on it. They signed this one girl's. She was a quiet girl, and JT was the class clown. They finished writing the note, and they folded it up. They then put it in JT's desk, and they left. Forgot about it. Until the next morning, they walk into class, and JT is standing up, reading this note. JT, I've been in love with you forever. You make my heart go boom, boom, boom. What? He reads every word, and when he's done, everyone turns to this girl. I didn't write that, I swear. I didn't write that. Nobody believes her. Everyone thinks it's real. She has a full-blown meltdown and she leaves the classroom. And the 2 kids stare at their desks. The next few days, she is bullied relentlessly. And one of the boys that wrote the note couldn't take it. Hey, it was me that wrote the note. Me and Kyle. We are so sorry. Why would you do that to me? My life has been horrible this week. I'm so sorry, I'll try to make it right. Those 2 then announced in front of that entire class that it was actually them, and that people should please be nice to this girl. But it wasn't as easy as that. People still made fun of her, and they realized that even a simple joke could follow somebody around for years. So be careful what you do, and be careful who you do it to. Be nice, everybody. He robbed the teacher's lounge for months. In broad daylight during biology, he would leave class and walk straight into the teacher's lounge with so much confidence. He'd open the freezer, see what's in there, take an ice cream sandwich, open the fridge, take somebody else's lunch. If there were chips on the table, he'd grab like 7 bags. And he would literally nod at the teachers while he was taking their stuff. He was acting so confident, they didn't even question it. They assumed that he was there for a reason. That was the trick. And he would stand there having conversations. Mr. Johnson, your test was freaking brutal last week. I know I felt bad, but you did pretty good on it. You got a B, right? Yeah, it could have been an A, though. I'm just gonna grab this and leave. Take care. Literally talking to this teacher while he's stealing another teacher's apple, banana, granola bar. And it worked for months. Until one day, one person decided to finally question him. It was the vice principal. Yo, what are you doing in here? All that confidence and swagger, and he never decided to think of a story of why he would belong there. So, he was busted and suspended for 5 days. It's a sleepover at his friend's house. They're sitting down talking when somebody mentions a microwave. I almost microwaved my fork. That would have been crazy. Why would that be crazy? Everyone's like, you can't microwave metal, man. You didn't know that? No, and I've never tried. They explain to him that it's bad to microwave metal, like fire hazard bad. Well, they all go to sleep, and this kid's laying there. He can't stop thinking about it. Metal microwave. Microwave metal, metal microwave metal. Metal, metal microwave metal. He just can't let it go. Staring at the ceiling, he decides, I need to find out for myself. So he goes into the kitchen of his friend's house, opens the silverware drawer, grabs a handful of forks, knives, and spoons, puts it in the microwave, and presses start. For the first 3 seconds, nothing happens. But then, crackling, sparks, a flash bright as the sun, and then flames. The microwave is now fully engulfed in flames, and the cabinets start on fire. Fire alarms are going off. Everybody in the house wakes up and they go outside. The fire trucks arrive and they're putting this fire out. Luckily, it's not too bad. The kitchen was pretty messed up though, but the entire neighborhood was outside in their pajamas watching this thing happen. And obviously, they found out who did it. Bro, we just told you about metal in the microwave. I had to see it. And that, my friends, is nuts. Wait, are we friends, or am I just your study guide? What? So this girl's like super smart. She's always making group projects super easy. She shares her notes, she always helps her friends study, and she doesn't complain. But one day she noticed something. Nobody texts her unless it's about school. Nobody invites her to anything, nobody asks her how she's doing. Just stuff like, hey, what's the answer to number 4? Can you send me the notes, please? Hey, do you have the homework from yesterday? But then she realized the group chat she's in with all her friends, they only ever talk about the homework, and she finds out that there's a separate group chat that she's not even in. She didn't even get invited to Kayla's birthday party. The next day at lunch, she sits down with her group of friends. She looks them all in the eye and she says, quick question, who here knows my birthday? Or my mom's name? Or my dog's name? Or my middle name? Dead silence. One girl mumbles, isn't your birthday like December 25th? That's Christmas Day. And no. Oh, I love Christmas. The girl then stands up and says, well, you guys can figure out your own homework answers, study help on your own, okay? I'm out and I am done with all of you. Fine, we don't need you. Except they definitely did. After that day, they kept blowing up her phone when they needed homework or test help, and she just ignored it. Screw those friends. She made a new group of friends that actually appreciates her for who she is. It started small. This kid brought a few things from home that day. A headphones, a hoodie, and some random collectibles. And somebody jokingly goes, I'll trade you my Jordans for those headphones. He says, okay. And that's the moment it clicks. The next day he comes to school and that duffel bag he brought of stuff is heavier. And he starts telling people during lunch to meet him in the bathroom. And everything he had was up for trade. Okay guys, line up. Here's what I got. What do you got? And the value is negotiated right there on the spot. A hoodie for a watch for AirPods, AirPods for a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants, a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants for a porcelain plate that someone stole from their grandma's house that's worth a lot of money. Okay, I think we all did good today. We happy? Yep. Perfect. By week 3, there's a huge line of people holding random objects trying to trade with this kid, because the best part is you were never sure what he was going to bring. Some of the stuff that was traded included shoes in a plastic bag, electronics, gift cards, jewelry. Bro, that's a PlayStation 5. I know. Now, say you wanted something nice, but the thing you had to trade didn't equal the value. Okay, I'll trade you this for that, but tomorrow you gotta bring me something else to make it even. Deal. So now there's credit on the line, and that's when it gets dangerous, because if someone didn't follow up with their end of the deal, there was arguing, fights, Full-blown bathroom brawls. And then came the bandits. Bigger kids that stormed into the bathroom one day and stole everything. Hey, Pipsqueak, give us the stuff. I knew I should have hired security. That's another lesson. Always hire security. The school then gets involved in a pretty major way. Suspensions, confiscations, meetings with parents who are finding out for the first time that their kid traded their family heirloom for a frickin' SpongeBob speaker. That bathroom was closed down for the rest of the year. But nobody ever forgot that underground trading post in the school bathroom. These are the worst parents ever. In this house, certain words were banned, like disgusting. If you said the word disgusting, you were grounded for a week. Obviously, no swear words. Bedroom doors had to stay open at all times. Only time they could be in a room with the door closed was the bathroom. This kid's parents hated Cartoon Network. They called it garbage. So yeah, super controlling parents, but one day it became completely out of hand. One day the parents decided that these kids were bad enough to deserve a real punishment. You've seen nothing yet. So the sister was 14, the brother was 12. The parents made them gather every single item in their bedroom. Clothes, pictures, diaries, toys, childhood keepsakes. Their parents made them bag this stuff up in trash bags. And then they marched them outside to a giant burn pile. March to the backyard. And item by item, they made the kids burn every single thing that they bagged up. Every memory, every photo, every childhood item, completely gone. The next day, they went out to see what was left, and it was just ashes. Their entire lives up to that point, ashes. So yeah, in my opinion, worst parents ever. Every winter, this one patch of ice formed outside the side entrance of the school, and nobody ever salted it. And kids figured out something fast. If you hit it at full speed and land just right, you'll just keep on sliding. It was this long stretch that if executed properly, kids could just slide for what seemed like ever. Groups of people were doing it every morning. Yo! A pile of backpacks here and a line of kids here. It wasn't easy. Some kids wiped out. Some kids went pretty far. Well, one kid showed up, he took it way too seriously. Before and after school, he shows up with two of his biggest buddies. And if somebody wanted to slide on this ice, they had to give him something. What you got? Well, you're in my math class. I'll give you the answer to tomorrow's homework. Deal. He would then let them go and mark down how far they went. 15 feet, 18 feet, 25 feet. Now, everyone's showing up with offerings to get in line to try to beat the best record. This kid's getting tons of snacks, homework answers, random items. That's when one angry janitor sees what's going on, and he's like, "Oh, I can't have this." So every morning he begins salting it. That forgotten ice patch was no more. But for that time, it was awesome. He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey, you want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying. The mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed. The mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. My home office has a window, and it directly faces my neighbor's living room window, 3 feet away. And that was Toby. And for 6 months, Toby has not worked a single day without being watched. Every morning at 9 a.m., as Toby's sitting down at his desk to begin his work from home assignments, a tabby cat named Barnaby would take his position in his neighbor's living room windowsill, directly across from Toby. And the cat wouldn't sleep. He would just stare at Toby, right in his eyes, every day. It kind of creeped him out. It was this cat's routine. Well, by month 3, Toby kind of snapped. He decided if the cat wanted a show, he was gonna give him a show. It started with Toby finding a video titled Video for Cats, and he turned it around and faced it right towards Barnaby. Well, Barnaby wasn't impressed. The next day, Tony danced for Barnaby. It wasn't good, but he danced. Barnaby perked up. You could tell. He was responding to this. Well, the next day, he put on a puppet show. I'm a puppet.
Me too! Oh look, there's a cat!
Now I also want to mention that Barnaby was an indoor-outdoor cat. One night as Toby was going to the store, he opens his front door and he sees a dead mouse sitting there on his porch. He got rid of the mouse, but every day after that, he kept receiving more and more items. A neighbor's gardening glove, a Hanes sock, a literal $1 bill. So he installed a camera doorbell to see what was going on, and he found the culprit. It was Barnaby, leaving gifts for Toby every night. It was like he was paying him for this entertainment he's been receiving. And ever since that day, Toby and Barnaby were best friends. Barnaby always sat in that opposite windowsill. Toby was always at his desk working, until one day Barnaby wasn't there. Toby was concerned. The next day, again, Barnaby, nowhere to be seen. So he goes over to his neighbor's house, knocks on the door. Barnaby had passed away. And Toby was heartbroken. Rest in peace, Barnaby. Most school pranks involve a mess or a splash, but the great invasion of 2024 was silent, and it only cost $20. It started when an 8th grader found a bulk listing of sticky googly eyes on the internet. Oh, I'm getting these. And he brought those to school, and he recruited 6th graders. I'm giving each of you 500 sticky googly eyes, and you are to put them everywhere. They were his 6th grade deployment team, and by the next day, the school had eyes everywhere. The fire extinguishers looked surprised. The water fountains were looking suspicious. Every single locker had eyes on it, watching students as they walked down the hallways. Yo, dude, there's eyes everywhere. School administration went into full-blown panic mode because it was basically an infestation. You couldn't look anywhere without seeing eyes. I want names. I want receipts. We must get to the bottom of this. But it was impossible to find out who did this. The breaking point happened on a Thursday. The lunch lady was preparing burgers for lunch. She opened up the fridge to grab the tray of patties, and what she saw, every single burger patty in that fridge had 2 eyes looking up at her. She walked out that day. The school spent weeks peeling off these eyes. Eventually, they were all gone. Well, almost. They missed one. High up on the wall in the back of the gym, right next to the school's championship banner. One last eye. Years later, they still talk about it. See that eye up there, kid? Yeah, what is it? Let's just say there was a time where everything in this school had eyes, and it was beautiful. It's a big family birthday party. All the cousins are the same age, from middle school. There's cake everywhere, balloons, pizza crust on the couch. By 8 p.m., the party's over. The adults are done. One of the aunts says, "All right, kids, that's a party. Nobody's leaving till we all help clean up." One cousin says, "No, I'm not cleaning this. I gotta go home, man. I mean, I don't want to clean it either, but what do we do?" "I have an idea." That cousin then just drops to the ground. Full body collapse right on the floor, and everyone's screaming, "Oh my God, Corey! Corey, wake up!" The kid's not moving at all. One of the cousins is like, "Okay, bro, joke's over, stop." But Corey is just committing to this. His eyes are closed, he's limp, he's silent while people are shaking him. "Come on, Corey, get up, get up." What he didn't know was one of his uncles was in the kitchen and called 911. So now paramedics burst into the house. "Where is he? Where is he?" That's when he's like, "I'm better now." Everybody explodes. The parents are furious. The cousins are like, "Bro, that was way too far." He's grounded for months. The ambulance leaves, and now all the cousins are forced to clean up double time. They didn't just have to clean up from the party. They had to now clean all the bathrooms and rake the yard. It was insane. So his little bit to get him out of cleaning made things 10 times worse. When this kid was a toddler, his mom would keep him on a leash in the yard. She would clip it on him, and then she would tie the leash to something in the yard. And she let him play while she did the dishes. Well, one day he's sitting in the yard and he's eating ants straight off of an anthill. Just literally grabbing them and eating them like they're freaking popcorn. Well, that's when he gets curious. So he takes a handful of this anthill and starts stuffing his pockets. He's stuffing his pockets with ants so he can have a snack for later. This kid then takes the harness off of himself and begins walking towards the street. Just him, free, with a pocket full of ants. The mom sees this and goes outside to start to get him, but as he reaches the road, a van pulls up. This dude opens the van and grabs him and puts him in the van. "Yeah, kid, get in, kid." There's another guy inside. There's a guy driving the van and another guy in the back seat. So now it's this dude, the kid, and the other dude sitting in the back seat. Now his mom is losing it. The car peels off. She's screaming, chasing his van. But inside the car, everything changes. The guy who grabbed them starts screaming. "What? No. Get him off me! Get him off me!" He's thrashing, panicking, because guess what happened? This toddler's pockets, like I said, were full of ants. And now they're everywhere in the van. This guy loses it. He just yanks open the van door and throws this kid into a ditch. Car's gone. The mom finds the kid moments later, alive, well, covered in ants, and eating them. And honestly, that's the craziest story I have ever heard. He was a kid, his mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there, she goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying, the mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed, the mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. Hector's driving to work one morning when he sees something on his dashboard. What is... It's a jumping spider, and Hector does not do spiders. So immediately he's freaking out. The car's swerving. It's dangerous. He's trying to keep one eye on the road and one eye on this thing. Then the spider disappears somewhere in the windshield. He's gone. For now. The next morning, Hector gets in the car to go to work, and the spider's back. This time, Hector kind of sighs. He's like, all right, just stay there, okay? And weirdly, after a while, he gets used to it. That spider's there every morning. Oh, hey, morning, buddy! Sometimes on the dash, sometimes on the radio knob. And eventually, Hector starts talking to it on his way to work. Man, it's good to see you today. I didn't sleep well last night, but I think with some coffee I'll be good. If traffic was bad, look at this idiot! That's what I'm saying! If he's late, we're not gonna make it on time today, buddy. At one point, Hector doesn't see him for a few days. He gets worried, but then he pops back up. Oh, hey, there you are. I missed you. Now it's a part of the routine. It's been about a week since he met the spider, and it's his buddy now. One day, he's driving his wife to work. She gets in the car, and she sees the spider. All right, let's go. Ah! Oh, no, that's just... Ew. Don't worry, he's dead now. His wife just killed his best friend, and he's actually devastated. The ride to church is pretty quiet. His wife finally says, "Are you seriously mad at me right now?" And he just cries. "You rode with me every single day this past week. He was my best friend. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace." Man, that's sad. He had a crush on this girl for months. They were in the same last period class. Hey, what's up, Carla? Hey, Bryce. Well, 3 days before Valentine's Day, he decides he's done being scared. So instead of just asking her out like a normal person, he buys one of those school singing Valentines. $10, one singer, he comes to your class and sings to your crush. All set? Thank you. You got it. Now it's the night before Valentine's Day. His phone rings. Hello? Dude, she has a freaking boyfriend. Oh, man. So now he panics. That next morning, he tries to cancel. But it's too late. No refunds, and everyone's already been sent out. Well, it's last period. He's sitting there praying that they ran out of time and that somehow his order would be skipped. 10 minutes left in class. Please, please, please. And here this guy comes. We have a singing Valentine here for Lady Erickson. Oh, that's my last name. That's me. And he begins. Wild thing. You make his heart sing. He's in love with you. Or something like that. I don't know the song, but it goes on for a good 45 seconds. Yay! Now, she obviously assumes this is from her boyfriend, but then he hands her the card. And here is the card from your Valentine. She opens it up. Bryce? I didn't know that you... I have a boyfriend, you freaking creep. Wait till I tell him about this. You're done for. After that class, he rushes out of the door into the buses, and he goes home. And he said that was the most embarrassing day of his entire life. Yeah. Most teachers use seating charts to help keep the peace, but Mr. Miller used his in a different way. For the first month, Miller studied the room. He figured out exactly who was best friends and who couldn't stand each other. Then he released a mandatory seating chart. Okay, everybody, this seating chart is law, unless somebody has an offer. That's when he introduced the daily waiver. For the price of a premium snack, and a cold drink, one student per day could buy their way into the seat right next to their friend. But that's the catch. He only did one trade per class. And it was actually kind of fun. The students loved this. Every morning it was like an auction, so he has to pick out the best of the snacks. I have Takis and a Capri Sun. Nah. I have milk and tuna. No, I got Airhead Sour Strips and an Orange Crush. Deal. And that's what he did the entire year. The kids thought it was pretty awesome, so in turn, they respected him, and the behavior was pretty good. The principal thought he was a genius, and Mr. Miller always had the best snacks. There was this girl on the swim team named Maddie. Hey! And Maddie hated swim practice more than anybody alive, because every day after school, the team had to get on this humid, disgusting bus and drive across town to the Park District pool. The bus had towels everywhere. The chlorine smell always trapped in the seats. Some kid always eating goldfish crackers for no reason. They're delicious. They're so good. Then after they get to the pool, 3 straight hours of misery would begin. Sprint laps, flip turns, the coach screaming, "Swim faster, you idiots!" People were literally throwing up after they were done. Then one day during practice, the lifeguard suddenly blows the whistle. Everybody out of the pool! Apparently, on the other half of the pool, a kid taking swim lessons pooped, and swim practice was canceled instantly. Everybody goes home, and Maddie realizes this is a life hack. So the next week, she goes to swim practice unusually happy. Hidden in her hoodie pocket is a fake plastic poop from the prank store. Halfway through practice, everyone is exhausted doing their sprints. Maddie casually swims to the deep end, drops the fake poop in, and pushes off the wall. At first, nobody notices. Then one kid surfaces and goes, "Poop! Poop!" Instantly, people begin freaking out. Everyone's climbing out of the pool. The lifeguard blows the whistle. The coach looks, "Yep, that's poop." Pool gets shut down. Practice gets canceled. At this point, the coach and the swim team had left. But the lifeguards, as they began to clean, they realized this is not a real poop. Nobody ever proved it was Maddie. And from that day on, if a poop showed up, they made sure to check if it was real before practice was canceled. But for that day, she got half the practice off. And she was so proud of herself. Bro, say something. He won't, and that's the scary part. So there's this one kid, real quiet. Doesn't talk much in class, doesn't have a crew. Just walks through the day, hoodie up, backpack on, he keeps to himself. And for whatever reason, this other kid keeps trying to start stuff with him. It starts with little jabs, locker shoves, shoulder checks in the hallway. This guy's trying to get a rise out of the quiet kid. But the quiet kid, he never reacts. He never looks mad, he's just always silent. And that keeps making this dude even angrier. He starts saying stuff loudly in the lunchroom. Yo, hoodie kid thinks he's better than everyone. See, he's too scared to speak. There's a whole week of build-up. People start whispering, yo, a fight's happening on Friday. Between who? That big guy Jeff and that kid who never talks. Oh, here we go. And then Friday, passing period, a crowd forms in the hallway. Phones out, everybody's waiting. The loud kids are already in the circle and he's yelling. And the quiet kid, he just walks in. No expression, no talking, he just drops his backpack on the floor. Oh, you're showing up now, huh? You scared? You scared, man? Quiet kid says nothing. Say something, bro. Still nothing. So the loud kid swings. He misses. And the quiet kid, 1 move. 2 moves. It's over. He picks up his backpack and he walks away. By 7th period, people are calling him Silent Mike. The next day, Silent Mike doesn't talk unless it's important. He once got bumped in the hallway and didn't blink. He never even messed up his hoodie. One teacher goes, wait, who's Mike? The Silent Mike nickname didn't really make sense because kid's real name is Darren. Here's what happens when you sell snacks to a rich kid. This guy's running a locker snack business to save up for a computer. Well, one kid ordered a bag of hot Cheetos and a Gatorade. Easy transaction. So he brings it to this kid's locker, and the kid looks at the Cheetos all weird. Yo, man, this bag is way too wrinkled. Okay, I'll go grab a fresh one for you. So he runs back to his locker and grabs a fresh bag. He comes back, and now this kid's saying the Gatorade's wrong. Also, dude, this is the wrong flavor Gatorade. You said blue Gatorade. I did not say blue Gatorade. He said blue Gatorade. Well, while he's standing there, you know what, it's fine, I'll take it, okay. Well, the kid's standing there waiting to get paid when the rich guy starts showing his friends pictures of the yacht his parents just bought. Hey, Kevin, Deacon, check this out, man. That's a big boat. It's my parents. Hey, can I get the money? Jeez. Impatient, are we? Fine, here. Takes the money, he goes. The next day, the rich kid stops him in the hallway. Hey, yo, dude, those Cheetos were stale yesterday. I want a full refund. The Cheetos weren't stale, they were brand new. But he didn't know what to say, so he just refunded the guy. He says it doesn't matter. He's sure karma will catch up to this kid one day. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he says, "A brick." A brick? Why? Because my parents still have this super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one. Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered. And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine. You're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. A substitute teacher walks into class. She's taking attendance, butchering every single name. She gets through everything, but then someone's like, "Miss, you forgot about Denise." "Oh, Denise, yeah, she's here. Right there." And the kid points to an empty desk. The substitute's like, I don't see anybody there." But then another student's like, "She's just very quiet, but yeah, she's here, see?" "Okay." The sub then manually put in Denise's name on the sheet and wrote next to it, "Here." 10 minutes later, the substitute's handing out papers. Someone says, "Hey, miss, don't forget to give Denise one." And the sub does. "Oh, you're right. My bad. Here you go, Denise." "Miss, she also needs a pencil." "Oh, okay, here, Denise." So now, obviously, no one is sitting at that desk, but this teacher is going along with it? Or maybe she's actually believing that someone is there, but she just can't see them? By the end of class, she's talking to this empty desk like it's a real person. Okay, does everyone understand today's lesson? Denise, how about you? "Yeah, she gets it, miss." And on the sub sheet to turn into the teacher, the substitute wrote, "Denise was quiet today, but she completed all her work. Overall, class was great." The next day, the real teacher comes back and reads the notes. Class, who the heck is Denise?" And everyone burst out laughing. I bet they had that sub thinking she was going crazy. They respected Denise though, huh? I hate braces. Mikey got braces right before freshman year, and he really didn't want anybody to notice. So the whole summer, this dude's in the mirror practicing, smiling with his lips closed, talking differently. "Hi, my name's Mikey, how are you?" Laughing without showing teeth. Fully rehearsing these facial expressions. First day of school, he thinks he's got it under control. Then English class happens. Also, Mikey's mouth was messed up. He had those rubber bands in different places. Well, the teacher asks a question, calls on Mikey. "So Mikey, what do you think they did with all the cows?" And Mikey responds something that made himself laugh. "They made milk." He smiles big, his braces are showing, but one of those rubber bands that he has connected to his braces comes loose and just straight to the front of the room. Right into the teacher's eye. What was that? Oh no! It came out of Mikey's mouth. It was so unfortunate. Mikey was in the front row. Truly a freak accident, but Mikey was bullied for like a month. Poor guy. This second grader decides, I want to do something nice for my teacher. So one morning before school, she's outside and she picks a few apple blossoms. Enough to hold in one hand, and she was going to give it to her teacher. She's going to love this. She carries them all the way to school. And when it's time, she walks up to her teacher's desk. "I got these for you." Now you would think the teacher would be like, "Oh my goodness, thank you." But where'd you get these? "From a tree." Well, that's when the teacher snaps. "You pulled these from somebody's tree in their yard. You stole them." "No, I didn't." "No, I don't want to hear a single word from you. I'm tearing these flowers up. I'm throwing them away. You need to learn about rules, young lady. This is disgraceful. Sit down." Absolutely heartbreaking. This girl just wanted to do something nice and the teacher flipped out. Later that day during recess, her older sibling finds her. She was crying alone. "Oh my God, what happened?" She explains the situation. Well, he was ticked off. He storms inside and he yells at that teacher. "What'd you say to my sister? She was trying to do something nice for you today. You know where she got those flowers? From our backyard." Yeah, the flowers were their family's. She didn't steal them from anybody. The older brother then got a detention for yelling at a teacher, but he doesn't care because the way that teacher treated his little sister was unacceptable. That's a good brother. That's a bad teacher. Is it just me, or is banning a student from the bathroom a horrible idea? There was this one student who was basically infamous for wandering the hallways. He would ask to use the bathroom every single day during class. Can I use the bathroom? Again? Okay, fine, but hurry. He would then go and take like 30 minutes every time. When I was in school, I knew a few kids like this. Well, anyway, he would be gone for a long time. The teachers would go out and they would find him just wandering the halls, talking to friends through their classroom door, just killing time. It got so bad that the school banned him from taking bathroom breaks during class, and they sent a memo to every single one of his teachers. Anyway, one day this kid ate fish tacos during lunch, which already, that's a horrible idea. Well, midway through third period, he begins sweating. He raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom, please? My stomach hurts. Nice try, but no. So he tries to keep it together. 20 minutes later, he's practically doubled over. The teacher still refuses. And then it happens. Right there in the middle of class, in front of everybody. And it's a frickin' mess. Turns out the kid had actual food poisoning. But he wasn't the only kid to get food poisoning. Other kids also had it, but they were allowed to go to the bathroom. He wasn't. The school ended up settling in court with this kid's parents, and they got a good amount of money. Turns out, it doesn't matter if the kid was wandering hallways or skipping class, banning them from the bathroom is not okay. But it didn't matter how much money his parents received in the court case. He was still made fun of for the rest of his time at that school. That is messed up. It started with strawberry milk. Cafeteria strawberry milk. Everyone knew this one kid loved it. I freaking love it. So one day, his friend group makes a deal. All right, so for every strawberry milk carton you finish, we'll all pay you $1. $1 per milk? Easy. So kids start sliding in these strawberry milk cartons across the table, and now he's got a bunch in front of him. Guys, this is gonna be awesome. I love strawberry milk. The first carton goes down easy. The second carton, still good. Third carton, confidence is growing. I got this. All right, it's $3 so far, man. By the time lunch is halfway over, there's a crowd forming around him, cheering for him. Come on, man, you got this. That's really impressive. Milk. That's $15 so far, man. The kid keeps drinking. The money keeps stacking. Carton number 18. He stops in his tracks. Silence. And then it happens. A violent, unstoppable stream of neon pink vomit explodes across the lunch table, covering trays, shoes, people's faces. Everyone begins to scatter, running away from this horrible scene. He got to keep the money, but ever since that day, he has not been able to drink milk ever again, and strawberry milk was his favorite. It's kind of sad. Freaking bus drivers. Mr. Miller was the kind of bus driver who looked like he hadn't slept since 2004. He didn't care about your safety. He only cared about his blood pressure. And if you broke rule number 1, the whole bus was going down with him. It was 8 a.m. and somebody had the audacity to crack a window to get some air. Well, Mr. Miller hit the brakes so hard, kids in the front row nearly smacked against the windshield. Are you serious right now? If I hear one more click of the latch, I'm turning this bus around and dropping everybody off back at their driveways. It was silent for a while. Then this one kid moved his backpack to let somebody in. Kyle, is that a bag in the aisle? You want me to trip and sue your parents? Pick it up and put it in your lap like a civilized human being. Or get off my bus. Kyle, I got a headache, don't test me. But here's the thing. While Mr. Miller is having a midlife crisis over a window and a backpack, the back of the bus is literally a lawless wasteland. One kid brought a Bluetooth speaker and was blasting Coco Melon while 2 other kids fought over a granola bar and a fruit by the foot. Mr. Miller, there's a full-blown fight happening in the back. I don't care! As long as the aisles are clear and the windows are closed, you guys could kill each other for all that I care. They finally get to the school and he opens the door. Get out, all of you, and if I see a single piece of gum on the seats, I'm calling your mothers, especially you, Kyle. That's why you gotta watch out for those bus drivers. In most classrooms, misbehavior gets you a warning or a detention. Well, back in the 80s, it was something completely different. In this classroom, any deviation from the system, like talking too much or misbehaving, throwing stuff, spitballs, it required a physical debt. Hey, Kyle, spitball! The teacher didn't make them sit in a corner or put a goofy hat on. Next to his desk on the floor laid a sheet of coarse sandpaper. One mistake, you had to get up there and kneel down on the sandpaper. And you weren't just kneeling, you were working. You had to stay in that exact position while your knees grinded onto the grit while you had to write massive amounts of words. And what you normally did is there were a list of 30 words, and you had to write each word 10 times. The punishment was designed to make them try to write fast, because the longer you took to write these words, the longer you had to kneel. It's actually incredibly horrifying, and it would completely not fly today. I can't believe that's what they did back then. Eventually, they stopped doing that, thank God. But that teacher never got in trouble because, well, it was the 80s. His name was Frog Boy, and he was the weird kid at this one school. Froggy, Puggy Wuggy. Every single day before class, he would be in the woods behind the school, catching frogs, lizards, and raising tadpoles in a Home Depot bucket. Grow, little tadpoles. Grow into frogs. And every day he would walk into class smelling like pond water. Yo, Frog Boy smells extra froggy today. But in class, he would have so much pent-up energy. He couldn't sit still, and every single teacher knew this. Kevin, why don't you go take a lap around the school, okay? Okay. They would often let him leave school and run around the building and come back to tire himself out. In different classes, other kids would be doing math, and they would look out the window to see Frog Boy running by. 2 plus 2 is 6. He would also just do crazy stuff, like one week he super glued all the woodshop tools to the wall. It's a masterpiece. My tools! Another week he went into the kitchen and spread flour everywhere. Looks like it snowed in here. My kitchen! And it was like that for a long time. Well, fast forward years later. One of his old classmates is at home scrolling through his phone when he stumbles on a viral motocross clip. Yo, that's sick. It's a clip of a guy on a dirt bike going off this huge ramp and doing a backflip. That's when the old classmate realizes, wait, that's frickin' Frog Boy! Frog Boy was now a professional motocross rider, and he was very rich. I'm just happy he used his energy for something awesome like that. Hey, go Frog Boy. It started small. This kid brought a few things from home that day. Headphones, a hoodie, and some random collectibles. And somebody jokingly goes, I'll trade you my Jordans for those headphones. He says, okay. And that's the moment it clicks. The next day he comes to school and that duffel bag he brought of stuff is heavier. And he starts telling people during lunch to meet him in the bathroom. And everything he had was up for trade. Okay guys, line up. Here's what I got. What do you got? And the value is negotiated right there on the spot. A hoodie for a watch for AirPods, AirPods for a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants, a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants for a porcelain plate that someone stole from their grandma's house that's worth a lot of money. Okay, I think we all did good today. We happy? Yep. Perfect. Milk. By week 3, there's a huge line of people holding random objects trying to trade with this kid, because the best part is you were never sure what he was going to bring. Some of the stuff that was traded included shoes in a plastic bag, electronics, gift cards, jewelry. Bro, that's a PlayStation 5. I know. Now, say you wanted something nice, but the thing you had to trade didn't equal the value. Okay, I'll trade you this for that, but tomorrow you gotta bring me something else to make it even. Deal. So now there's credit on the line. And that's when it gets dangerous, because if someone didn't follow up with their end of the deal, there was arguing, fights, full-blown bathroom brawls. And then came the bandits. Bigger kids that stormed into the bathroom one day and stole everything. Hey, Pipsqueak, give us the stuff. I knew I should have hired security. That's another lesson. Always hire security. The school then gets involved in a pretty major way. Suspensions, confiscations, meetings with parents who are finding out for the first time that their kid traded their family heirloom for a freaking SpongeBob speaker. That bathroom was closed down for the rest of the year. But nobody ever forgot that underground trading post in the school bathroom. There's a big difference between Oak Street and Oak Avenue, and it changed this one kid's life. He was told to meet at this house for a study group. The address was 124 Oak Avenue, but when he put it in his GPS, he put 124 Oak Street, which is a completely different house. Pulled up, went to the door and he knocked. Oh, you must be one of the neighbor boys. Come on in, this old lady answered. Kid's like, this doesn't seem like my study group. And it wasn't, but he just went along with it. Have a seat, I'm making cookies. Oh, okay. He sits down, she pours him a glass of milk, and he had a bite of a cookie. This is the best cookie I've ever had. Glad you like it. And they sat there for an hour and a half, just chatting. She told him stories about being in school in the 50s and their school dances. He even pulled out his book and studied there for a bit. It was productive, and him and this grandma lady connected. You see, this woman lived alone. Her grandchildren had all graduated and moved out of the town. She was lonely, and this kid's grandma had passed away 2 years ago. So it was like a connection. Are you sure you've had enough food? Yes, it was delicious, and thanks for helping me study. Of course. Come back whenever. And he did. Once a month, he would go over there for cookies and a study session. And he realized, genius level 1,000. So this kid gets a job at the local movie theater. 2 tickets to the Helpful Cow, please. All right, enjoy the show. Well, day 3, he learns a pretty cool thing. All right, staff, a reminder, you all get free popcorn. Isn't that awesome? Best job ever. So every shift, right before close, he fills a bag with free popcorn. He ties it up and he stuffs it in his backpack. Popcorn into backpack. He goes home, goes into his bedroom, and he puts that popcorn into an even bigger bag of popcorn. It's a massive trash bag he keeps in his closet. He does this for days. His closet turns into a popcorn storage unit, and he's trying to keep the popcorn as fresh as possible. Then what he does is he takes his popcorn to school and he sells it. Like, for example, one night during a basketball game, the school is selling tiny popcorn bags for $4 each. He comes in, $2, fresh movie theater quality popcorn, $2. He goes behind the bleachers and a line forms. People are ditching the real concession stand to buy popcorn off of him. He upgrades his business too. Employees get 50% off of all candy. So one day he buys a bunch, tosses it in his backpack, and sells it at school for full price. I hear you have candy. Yep, Twix, Reese's, Butterfinger, what do you want? He's basically running concessions every day at school. And by the end of the year, he made more money selling popcorn and candy than the theater paid him to work there. And that is genius. You gotta respect the hustle. A beautiful lunchtime service. While everybody else ate chicken nuggets on plastic plates, a couple students disappeared every single lunch period and came back smelling like meat and potatoes. The chef, his name was Liam. What's up? I'm Liam. Both of Liam's parents were chefs, so he grew up learning the trade. Now at school, he had cooking class first period, and he had a free period right before lunch. So he launched a business. For $30, you got a private table backstage of the auditorium, a 3-course meal he cooked the night before, fresh linens, candlelight, and music. He would reheat everything in the cooking room, and he would plate it himself, and he served it to his guests wearing an apron, gloves, and a chef hat. And the thing is, people booked this service every single day to impress their crush. This is nice, huh? It's delicious. You really outdid yourself here. To settle rivalries, I'll stop stealing your pencils, but you gotta stop tying my shoes together during class. Fine, you have a deal. Tiramisu for you both? Ah, yes, thank you. This is lovely. Some kids even booked it to make business deals. I'll sell your product to the basketball games, but I want 15%, 10%. But I have a new business launching soon, and I'll get you in on the ground floor 50-50. You have a deal. Tiramisu? Ah, yes, please. This is lovely. And spots filled up in advance. This service was booked like 3 weeks. He only did 1 table a day. He never advertised. It was simply word of mouth. If you wanted to book, you would have to come up to him and say, "Chef, do you still offer your service?" "Absolutely. I could fit you in 2 weeks on the 17th. I'll take it." Holy crap. You gotta respect the hustle.
বন্ধু তুই যদি রক্ত দেস ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত
না দুলা ভাই আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই না আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে আর আমার আম্মু তো একা এজন্য আমি যাই না আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে তখন আমি কি করব
আরে ছাইরা দে ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা এত কষ্ট এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে দোস্ত
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই
আরে শালা ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম কি খবর কেমন আছো
বান্ধবীও তো যায় না এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো ফোন বের করো
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই ও যায় নাই কথা হইছে ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না
জানো না
কারণ না
আমি 1 থেকে 3 গুনবো
না বাবা প্রেম হইলেই হবে প্রেম হইলে এমনিই ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা আমার খালি ওরে দরকার
রক্ত কেন ইতিহাস লিখবো ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস
ভালো আছি আপনি ভালো আছেন
আমি তো ভালো আছি তো তোমার বোন কোথায়
আচ্ছা একটা মিনিট আমি কল দিচ্ছি
এক রাতে ভালো হয়ে গেল এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে দোস্ত আমার না ভয় লাগছে
আসতে বলুন, ওনার সাথে আমার একটু জরুরি কথা আছে।
বাবা
ভাই, আমি তো এলাকা ছাড়ার আগে
তুমি একটা গিরাট টুকরা ছেলে, যেই ছেলে তানিয়া আমার পিস্তলটা নিয়ে আয় তো।
টাকাকে দুধটা রাইখে গেলাম।
মাত্র সে ফেসবুকে স্ট্যাটাস দিয়েছে সে একটি অনাথ বাচ্চাকে
কত স্যাক্রিফাইস করছি, এলাকার বড় ভাই থেকে রিক্সা চালক হয়ে গেলাম, আর সেইটাই করবো। যে গরম না, আর এই বড় ভাই তোর মায়ের চিকিৎসার দায়িত্ব নিছে। সেলিম ভাই ভালোবাসার লেগে জেল খাটছিল।
ভাই আপনি যত কথাই, এই বাড়িতে ওই বদমাইশটার কথা একবারও ভুলে উচ্চারণ করবা না।
ভাই মিনিমাম আপনি 17 লাইনের একটা কবিতা লেখেন, 17 লাইনের কবিতাটা
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা, আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমো জানো, কমু তানিয়া ভালো কেমনে বেটা, কস না কেন, ক বেটা।
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো উত করে পড়ে যাবো। আর তো আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
ও 700 লাইন লিখবো, আর বাদ বাকি 300 লাইন আমি লেখা বললাম।
একটু নামিয়ে দাও, মানে ও ছাড়া পাক না পাক তাতে আমাদের কি?
ভিতরটা শিমুল তুলার মতো নরম হয়ে ছিল, যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে একটা
তুমি এতদিন যা করেছো তাতে আমার একটুও মন গলেনি, আর তোমাকে ভালোবাসার কোনো কারণও।
ও আপনি সে বড় ভাই? ভাই আপনার নাম তো আমি বহুত শুনছি, কিন্তু আমার
বুঝছস।
ভাই আমি এটাই বুঝলাম না, আপনি এই মাইয়া তানিয়ার মধ্যে কি পাইছেন? এলাকার সব মাইয়া আপনার।
মানুষ মাত্রই ভুল করে, তাতে কি?
ভাই এমন যে করবো,
দাঁড়া, মাথার ভিতরে অলরেডি একদম। তানিয়ার বাপরে আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ করছি, 7 দিনের মধ্যে তানিয়া আমারে, আমি প্রেমে ভালাবো কেমনে বেটা, কস না কেন, ক বেটা।
ভাই কি কমু কোন, মানে হ্যাঁ বাড়িতে কেমনে বাইক করবে এটা তো জানি না, এর মধ্যে আপনি কবিতা দিয়ে দিচ্ছেন। আমি তো
কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়েরা ডিস্টার্ব করে?
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন।
আমি হইতেছি রিক্সা, তুমি হইতেছে এসি বাস।
মামা পাড়া দিত।
আপনার ছেলের সাথে আমি আমার মেয়েকে বিয়ে দিব। ঠিক আছে ভাই সাহেব।
ফুটে যাব না, মানে এত হ্যান্ডসাম ফ্রেন্ডলি সুন্দর
আর জিত চিরদিন থাকবে। একটা এতিম ছেলের জন্য আজকে আমি।
আমার মতো একটা মানুষকে ভালোবাসা যায়।
সত্যি বলতেছো তানিয়া?
সেলিম,
আবার আসবো স্যার। আগে আপনার বাসায় আসতে গেলে পা কাঁপতো, এখন আর পা কাঁপে না।